a lot of ways, we are our own worst enemy. We self-sabotage, we procrastinate. We put roadblocks in our own way, and we make excuses for our behavior to make us feel better about ourselves when things don't go our way. We all do it, but why? And is there something we can do about it? The simple answer is yes. And in this short section, I wanted to spend a few minutes talking about the things that have helped me in the past so that you can get out of your own way and make things happen for yourself. In my personal opinion, this is the biggest obstacle to weight loss. The first thing you must be crystal clear on is knowing your why. I know you've heard this a ton of times, but it's true, I promise. Knowing your why and understanding your deepest reason for doing this challenge can drastically increase your chances of success. The most common answers that I often hear are for your kids, for your health, for your well-being, or a combination of all of the above. But at the end of the day, there is no right answer. It's all relative and it's completely personal. But as long as we can truly understand our deep-rooted reasons, the better we'll be equipped and we'll have the arsenal to combat when things get tough. Here's an example. A long time ago, back when I was running track in college, I was left off of a national team that I thought I had clearly earned a spot on. Long story short, the relay team that I was supposed to be on went on to finish 4th and earned All-American honors. I was happy for them, but absolutely crushed inside. I thought of all the things I could or should have done during the season to ensure my spot on that team. I hated that what-if feeling, and I told myself, never again. Whenever there were days that I didn't want to train or felt too tired or too sore, whatever excuse it was, I thought of that feeling I had when coach announced who made the national team. That feeling carried me through to a national championship the following season and became my pattern interrupt. I still use that feeling to this day when things get hard, whether it's mentally or physically. What is your driver? What can you use as a pattern interrupt? I'll share something I've learned along the way that has been instrumental in my life. Keep in mind that our previous actions govern our current behavior. Good or bad, that depends on our previous loop of actions. Most of our daily decisions are governed by our emotional states. Many of our decisions are very rarely made logically. Most of our decisions are driven by emotional triggers. This is why this is so important, because each decision has the potential to establish a habit, which in turn can help or hinder our long-term goals. As Hebb's law states, neurons that fire together, wire together. For instance, when you come home stressed from work, you automatically pour yourself a glass of wine because it helps you relax. However, the fire together, wire together now goes into effect. Now, anytime you feel stress, you'll trigger drinking wine because of that neurological loop you've created over time. This is an example of how a simple small decision can help or hinder your long-term goals. Or to give you another example, let's use coffee. You don't feel like work can get started until you have a fresh pot of coffee. You see, this can be applied to anything in life, no matter your goals. So I invite you to be aware of all the patterns and decisions that you create in your life, no matter how small, they can trigger and wire loop behaviors. So finish today and quit tomorrow is another way of what I call the opposite rule. If what you're doing isn't working, then try the opposite. How many times have you said to yourself, I'll start tomorrow? And although starting tomorrow is a great idea, it also unconsciously allows us to justify poor decisions today. You let go fully and you only strengthen the negative pattern. Yesterday you said you would start today, but what if we did the opposite? The opposite is, I'm gonna quit tomorrow, but I will start today. Sounds cheesy and counterintuitive, but oddly enough, it really works. The reality is that sometimes things are gonna suck, but coming up with a justification like, I'll stop now and start tomorrow mentality can add to Hebb's law more than realized. My advice to you is when you feel like giving up, give up tomorrow. I hope this made sense to you. Thoughts create a feeling, feeling drives an action. Actions create your identity, good or bad, but they do. But what if you flip that and started from the end? In a nutshell, aligning your actions with your goals. Sounds simple enough, right? What if your goal is to become fit and you ask yourself, what do fit people do? Well, they work out regularly, they eat healthily most of the time, maybe they eat protein with every meal, or they eat 3 or 4 servings of veggies every day. They sleep 8 hours a day, etc. You get what I'm saying here. You see, now you have the identity you want to have, but you also have the action steps. Putting those steps to action creates feelings and the ones that you want. You can determine the identity that you want, find out what that identity requires, and put in the work towards it. This can also be a great pattern interrupt. Asking yourself, am I becoming the person I want to be? Am I wiring my actions in the direction that will get me to my goals? Here's my last tip on mindset when it comes to weight loss or anything that you may fear. Meditate on your fears. Play them out to the end, vividly, again and again. And like a scary movie you've watched, fear loses its power. You have prepared for the best, you have faith in the best, but you have still prepared for the worst. Train your fear or shrink it. Remember, you must slay the dragon. The dragon sometimes is your own self, naysayers, good vibe vampires, maybe your fear of failure or stories you manifest in your head. Maybe it's fear of uncertainty. Whatever it is, you must slay it to grow. But don't try to slay them all at once, or try to slay the biggest dragons. You must start small, build momentum, and slowly over time your dragons will become bigger and bigger. Keep these things in mind. The time is now. You must focus on the daily steps, understand that this challenge will be hard, but don't let it overwhelm you. Simply visualize and expect things that may happen, work through them in your head before they happen, stay strong, stay consistent, and be confident. You have everything you need right here, right now. You deserve the best and you will achieve the best. Don't worry, this is the longest video on this course because in my opinion, mindset is the most important part of weight loss. You have to be relentless and disciplined on doing the basics. If you don't have the right mindset, weight loss can be a mighty mountain to climb.